Hello and welcome to episode 537 of Contending at the Water Cooler. I am your host, Clarence Moy, and I am joined by the full team of Oscar prognosticators here at Team Contending because it is that week. Yes, this Thursday, January 23rd, are the
22nd.
22nd. Excuse me. Sorry. It's been a long weekend. Dates are irrelevant to me.
I've been screwing it up too.
These are the nominations for the 2026 Academy Awards. And we are going to cover all 24. It used to be 23, now 24 categories. Thanks, Mark, for the correction earlier on this podcast. So, and we're going to try to do it as expediently as possible because, unlike some of our friends, we do not have 7.5 hours to dedicate into this endeavor. So let's go around the virtual cooler and tell the listeners who you are and where they can find you. Joey, you are on my right. I will start with you.
Hello, I'm Joey Moser. You can find me on Twitter or everywhere, Joey Moser83.
Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben Morris. I'm Oscar critic on Blue Sky, but I'm never on there, so just look for me at the Contending site.
David.
David Phillips, all social media, Real Reframe.
Mark.
Mark Lakes Movies on the Twitters, and I'm with Megan over at Gold Derby in the expert section and contribute for both the Contending and Awards Watch.
Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan McLaughlin. You can find me everywhere at Hey Dude Meg, and I am on Gold Derby now, which I gotta update my predictions. So,
Same.
Frank.
Frank Giavella, and you can find me at FJAKLUTE.
Where's your voice, Frank?
Uh-oh.
No. I can hear you. It sounds like you're hoarse.
We can hear you. We
No,
can hear you.
It just sounded like you were hoarse or sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you couldn't hear me.
No, we can hear you just fine.
FJAKLUTE, and I'll plug back in.
Okay. And Jalal.
Hi, my name is Jalal, and I'm here.
Welcome all.
We're glad you are here.
that's my favorite. Sorry.
All right. As I mentioned at the start, we are going to cut through all 24 Oscar categories and in anticipation of the nominations, which come out this Thursday. To kick things off, I'm going to hand it off to Joey, who's going to guide us through the shorts category because he is the shorts king.
Thank you, Clarence. I need a boost.
Booster
Let's
seat means.
boost your seat. Yes. Okay. So I guess I'll just go through the. Okay. Yeah. Let's do doc short first because those are like, every year. So what do we got? We got. What do you want me to do? Just go through the short list. What do you want?
Why don't you start with what you think are so
Sure.
all of the short list stuff is available out there. So why don't you start with what you think are your predictions?
Yeah, so I personally think doc short people respond to or they try to watch first the what subjects interest them if they do a little research on them. So I would probably say my predictions for the 5 are All the Empty Rooms, All the Walls Came Down, The Devil is Busy, Cashing Out, and Classroom 4. This is actually all 3 shorts categories. I think the shorts actually, this is one of the best years for the shorts in the last couple of years. And there have been, I'm spending way too much time looking at them. So as I will say for the whole Oscar season, predict them and lock them in and walk away.
Do you think it helps to watch them end to end? Jalal, you're nodding your head.
End to end?
Like watch all of them.
Yeah,
I think so. Well, now they have to. They have to prove that they've seen them.
Yeah,
they have to say they do. They don't have to.
Okay. Just move the cursor. I guess you can just do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of big things here. I don't know how people vote. I don't know if they're gonna say something like Ravina's Choice is about USAID funds being taken away from people in other countries, and then that happened in January of 2025, and they've already made this movie about how people are going to hospitals and they're already seeing their health deteriorate. I don't know if they're going to be like, I'm going to vote for that to make like a statement with my thing, with my vote, or I don't know, like Jay Rosenblatt did Heartbeat. His movies are always very personal. The last two movies that he did were shortlisted and nominated. His movie Heartbeat is on the list. Does that mean he's going to do it again? Or you have something like Perfectly a Strangeness is just about a donkey following a donkey around. I kind of love it because it's like so different. But then there's something in here about women's healthcare. There's something in here. There are two movies in here about Vietnam. Take very different perspectives. There's something in here about AIDS. There's stuff in here about.
Which one is Classroom 4?
That's the one where they are there. That's on PBS. It's available to watch now on PBS. It's about it's about a program where inmates do a certain like 15 weeks of education with other students that are on the outside, and there are like a certain number of students that are on the inside, and it's actually really kind of poetic and enlightening. That was nominated at Critics' Choice. All the Empty Rooms was nominated at Critics' Choice.
I definitely think All the Walls Came Down is in, because I think that's going to resonate with this audience, because it's Auntie Tymaner's story of, I think, losing her house, right? Did you get to see it, Joey?
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Okay, you've seen all of them. I feel like that's going to resonate with that community, and I definitely think that one's in.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's pretty high up there. I don't know. I could see a lot of scenarios here. I think Jalal and I were texting the other day. Like On Healing Lands, Bird's Perch is about that. One of the famous pictures from the Vietnam War. Oh, God, I'm butchering the history here. The snapshot of the guy shooting the Viet Cong man, and it's they track down both families of people that are in the photograph. I could totally see that getting in. So I don't know. I feel like this category is very crowded. I don't know. Like Jalal watched a bunch. I think Mark has watched a bunch. I don't know if you guys have any differing opinions on that.
I just think it's a very the way I predict these categories or this specific category is I narrow it down by certain precursors and by subject matter. And there's like 8 movies this year that wouldn't surprise me if they made it in or not. Some really good ones like the Vietnam one. They also tend to sometimes not like talking head documentaries. But some of the talking head documentaries this year are the better ones. So it's kind of the ones that move me the most are The Devil is Busy, which is about the abortion clinic in Georgia, I think. All the Empty Rooms, which is about children who pass in school shootings. And I was actually really moved by On Healing Lands, Bird's Perch, as well as the Florida documentary about the housing crisis and women who were kicked out of their mobile homes and made homeless.
Wait, which one was that one? Which one was that?
Last
Days on Lake Trinity. That's also from the New Yorker. There are two on the short list from the New Yorker. It's Cashing Out and Last Days on Lake Trinity. That one really got me. That one's really upsetting.
I'd also really like to point out the one I'm most interested in, but it's the only one I haven't had the chance to see. I think the hardest accessible is Children No More, Were and Are Gone, about children in Gaza and protesters about the war. So I don't know how that will fare in the conversation.
There was a big thing that I always consider when I'm thinking about the short list before the short list comes out is like Netflix always has something in here. They only have one on the short list, which is All the Empty Rooms. But like sometimes I used to think sometimes the most present or something that's really happening currently in the news, like the war in Gaza, like the war in Ukraine. There was one a couple of years ago called Camp Courage that was a Netflix movie. I think it's the first time Netflix missed in like something like 7 or 8 years. So Children No More was one of the first ones that I saw after the shortlist came out, and then I was just like, oh, that's definitely getting in. It's very It's about silent protest, people holding up pictures of children, photographs of them, not of their dead bodies, but children who, like, childhood pictures of these kids who have been killed in Gaza, and they just stand there, and there's some really tense stuff that happens in it. So I can totally see that getting into. There's only a couple that I think probably aren't going to get in. I'm a little surprised by how big this category is this year.
So I know sometimes it's difficult to be able to catch all of these. Does anybody want to jump in and share what their predictions are?
Well, I'll go with mine, and I'll echo. I've seen about 2/3 of all the short films now, so I'm gonna make my way through them tonight and tomorrow morning, and then kind of hammer these down. But it does me no good anyway if I see them. So the 5 I currently have in Doc Short are All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud. That was my favorite of the Doc Shorts. The Devil is Busy, All the Walls Came Down, and Cashing Out.
Anyone else?
I don't know what I just know a few that I think are in. So I still am trying to catch up. I usually let Joey take all the shorts. Any shorts that come my way, I'm always like, go ahead. So now is my time to try to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I don't want to speak for Clarence or anything else, if people don't want to, like, since this is probably the most least seen titles, we just want to move on to the next category.
Let's do the next one.
That's fine.
If that's okay.
With a reminder that we will be making final updates to the website predictions here in the next day or so. So as we are recording this podcast, we've got spitballing some thoughts, but we will lock things in hopefully by end of day Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, Joey, take us away.
Let's go to animated. So my 5, I'm waffling between like 6 or 7 titles, but the ones I'm really confident on are Snow Bear, Retirement Plan, Playing God, The Girl Who Cried Pearls. And that last spot, I'm really waffling between Butterfly and Aru, and maybe The Three Sisters. The Three Sisters is a really fun short. It kind of reminded me of like an episode of The Golden Girls, where like it's just 3 women on an island, the 3 sisters, and they're all kind of like dowdy and have, they're all covered up, and then like a sailor comes and like starts like getting involved with one, and then another, and then another, and then the sisters kind of fight over him. It's cute. I have Snow Bear in the top spot because the guy who wrote and animated it, his name is Aaron Blaise. He has never won an Oscar. He is an animator who was responsible for a lot of animation during the Disney Renaissance. Like, he's the man who did the animation for The Beast and Beauty and the Beast. He worked on like Aladdin, I think Pocahontas, The Lion King. He directed Brother Bear. This is a personal story of loss and loneliness. It's a gorgeously animated, like 2D animation movie about a polar bear who just wants to find a friend, and so when he can't find one, he builds one out of snow. It's really sweet. I love that movie so much. Retirement Plan has won a shit ton of awards. It's really about a man who's speaking on the things that he would like to do once he retires. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to like read all the books I said I would, I'm going to take care of my health more. But it gets more serious and more personal and emotional the more it goes, and I feel like it's a very universal, relatable movie. I've Playing God in there because that movie is fucking cool. It's stop motion play. I just spoke to the animators last week. It's sort of like if the whole movie is, that's the restoration scene from Toy Story 2 when the guy makes Woody all better. It's like that, but with like blood and viscera and spit, and that's what it kind of reminds me of, like creator. And that was so cool. I'm sort of in love with that one. The Girl Who Cried Pearls stop motion animation sort of looks like the animation is like puppets. some really gorgeous like reflective surfaces. It's sort of like a fable of I think it's a grandfather talking to his grandson. It's a story about greed and things like that. That just feels like a movie that would get nominated there. And then I feel like I'm forgetting one. Oh, the last spot, Aru is about a young girl who is sort of like a Viking daughter who wants to prove herself, and it's sort of about like water accessibility. And I like the colors are really bright. That's done by Cartoon Saloon, so that's why I'm waffling, taking it in or out. And Butterfly is a true story of I think it's a French swimmer who was I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jewish
Oh,
French.
sorry. Yes, Jewish French. Thank you. Who was captured by the Nazis and he was put in a concentration camp. But the movie is done with paint. And the director told me about like she like had the camera, hanging over the paintings she was painting it. It's really cool. So I personally think there's a lot of really great stuff in here. Forever Green is another. I was like, I don't think they're going to nominate two movies about bears, but that one looks like it's like carved out of wood. Huracan is black and white and kind of weird. Kinta's Ghost is like about the painter Goya, and like I think it's called the Black Series, which is like all these really twisted, dark paintings. I think a lot of people respond to different types of animation in this category, so I think those are the ones that are kind of ahead. But watch me be totally wrong.
Ben, I also know you
Anyone
follow
else?
animation quite a bit. Do you want to jump in here?
I have not seen any of the shorts, so I've not been able to really contribute yet. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some of them, but I haven't got a chance yet.
I
right.
will
Really
say,
like-
Joey, you think, I don't know if you said this yet, but I think cardboard has hit the most precursors.
Yeah, it's
Right?
been. I
When you
sometimes
say
wonder.
when you say most, we mean two.
Correct, Mark. Thank you for counting.
I think
We don't get much
the Annie
long,
Award and the BAFTA.
Right.
One and
Yeah.
a half. Because
long
one is
list.
a long list.
Yeah, right.
and that one's
Still,
also
it counts. It counts.
it's also like the sillier. It's a really silly short that has a sort of like surprising parental undercurrent too. It's about two children pigs with a lot of imagination, and they're trying to their dad is trying to connect with them. He's a single father pig. It's really really sweet, and I like it a lot. Sometimes I worry sometimes like the more I don't want to say cartoonish looking ones, but I mean sometimes the brighter ones kind of don't get nominated sometimes, if that makes sense. But I love that one too. That was that was the last one I saw, and I'm glad I saved it for last.
Yeah, I liked The Girl Who Cried Pearls quite a bit. I thought the animation on that was really cool, and I do think Butterfly you talked about, that seems like the type of movie they're gonna love that animation. You mentioned it was like a painting. I think that could show up because of that. But then again, it could be any five of these 15. But I went with The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Snow Bear, Butterfly, Retirement Plan, and Playing God.
Nice. Anyone else have any thoughts, discrepancies? Okay.
I have seen a lot of retirement plan. I'm like looking a lot of ads that I've seen are like just kind of a publicity or buzz, and I've seen like Snow Bear and Retirement Plan are the ones I feel like I've seen the most of.
I think festival prizes wise, I think Retirement Plan has won the most. I think they won like 50 something prizes,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, so if no one has anything else to say, we'll move on to live action. This is like I'm really kind of I don't want to say struggling, but this is I think I've said this a bunch of times, but 2025 was the year that I really kind of like accelerated shorts viewing, I guess, for myself. I could name you there are 15 films on this list. I could name you 15 or 20 other films that I could have seen hit the short list too. But the movies that I have are Two People Exchanging Saliva, The Singers, Beyond Silence, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and A Friend of Dorothy. Now, Two People Exchanging Saliva, I think, is the short that everyone keeps talking about. It's black and white. It's absurd. It's funny. It's
Narrated by
Vicky Creeps.
yes.
It's like romantic. It sort of feels like there's something there for everybody. There's commentary about from stuff like overconsumption with Amazon to fascism to there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I feel like that's a movie that a ton of people are talking about. I think people are really excited about it, and also it has a really catchy title that does not hurt. The Singers I love so much. It's based on I think a short story from like the 1800s. I think I'm probably butchering that. Sam Davis directed it. He was cinematographer of Dee Dee. He was Oscar nominated for the doc short Nine Nine WIPO. He's familiar. I think he's one of the only people on here who may have been nominated before. I feel like that is a movie, while seemingly less structured on plot, it has, I think, a big, surprising emotional payoff about a bunch of men in a bar who start singing to try to win a 6-pack of beer and $100. It's gorgeously shot, which is not a surprise because of who directed it. Rock Paper Scissors won the BAFTA. That is about the war in Ukraine. It's a true story. Very sort of visceral action, but it's about a son and father working in a makeshift hospital together, and Russian forces come in, and he's like the only person standing between them and the makeshift hospital. It's really tense. What am I missing? Beyond Silence. I think I'm moving Beyond Silence to the top spot now. I'm really Frank saw it, and he said something that I thought was an amazing comment. It's about two sisters. One of them is deaf and is a grad student, and the other one is interpreting for her. They go to a female professor to talk about the deaf sister's colleague has assaulted her, and it is about
Seen this one.
Yeah. I don't know. Frank said that this is what After the Hunt wishes it could be. I think that's what you said, Frank.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's great. I don't know. I think the storytelling is really great. It feels like more of like a sophisticated short. I really love that one. I saw that back, I think it like Palm Springs when I was covering it virtually, and it stayed with me the whole time. And then the last one, I'm sorry to keep talking, but A Friend of Dorothy, while there are other funnier movies on this list, like Jane Austen's period drama and Pantyhose, which is sort of like a couple's dealing with an everyday problem and it turns funny, I do feel like Friend of Dorothy is the most heartwarming, and sometimes they go for that. Mary Margolis is in it, that can't hurt. Stephen Fry is in it, that can't hurt. And I do think the director, Lee Knight, I think that man is everywhere. He's literally going from, I follow him on Instagram. It's like literally like plane, screening Q&A, plane, screening, plane. It's just, he doesn't stop. And he's won actually a lot of like director prizes. So I don't know if that translates to something or what, but I think it sticks out a little bit in terms of like tone, I guess. Anyone else but me?
Yeah. I really liked the live action shorts this year. I think there were quite a few good ones. My favorite, you mentioned there for a second, Jane Austen's period drama. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if they'll go for something so light and whimsical, but I thought it was really great. The other four
good title too. Yeah,
it's a great title. The other four I have, I think you had a few of. Two People Exchanging Saliva, Rock Paper Scissors. The Pearl Comb was one of my favorites. Also, I have that on there.
That
and
movie.
then, yeah, that was great. And then Beyond Silence.
The Pearl Comb would be such a like rad nomination.
Yeah.
It's got mermaids, it's got blood, it's like a horror, it's like a gorgeously shot, gorgeously produced like horror fable thing that's also about like gender disparity. Who knew? But I love that one. I would die if that got in. Also, I think Ado could get in. That's with Jennifer Lewis. It's about a school shooting that could get into. So I feel like there's a lot here. The ending Extremist
is good.
It's incredible.
Produced by Ben Stiller, I found out afterwards.
I didn't know that either for the longest time. It's that's also about a real life act of protest on the war in Ukraine. But the ending takes a really interesting, to say the least, turn. That one is available to watch on the New Yorker's YouTube if people want to watch it. There's a lot of really good stuff here. Robust is the term that I keep using for live action short this year. I could see any combination of any of these getting in.
This category also loves, or at least in the past, they've loved films with children that are well made, and I think they kind of really respect when a director is able to get a phenomenal performance from a child. And there are two in this category that I'm predicting because of that, and both because I found them emotionally fulfilling, which was Dad's Not Home, which is about two boys in Poland, Joey?
I think so.
It is Poland, yeah.
Poland, thank you, Frank. Who are struggling with their dad who has early onset dementia, and they're trying to hide that fact from all the adults in their life so that they can continue living in their home and take care of their family. As well as a film called The Boy with White Skin, which is about an albino boy in I don't know which country in Africa who was put down in the mines to it's about culture and tradition and what this boy has to go through, and it is a little confusing at times, but very well made and a great performance, I think, from the boy.
Great atmosphere that sort of like literally take you to a different world. And that the only thing that gives me pause about Dad's Not Home, first of all, the moment with the cake really kind of like that was really upsetting at the end of that movie. Dad's Not Home and Butcher Stain are both Student Academy Award honorees. I think it has been a number of years since a Student Academy Award honoree has gotten in. So it would be great.
I didn't realize Dad's Not Home was one of those as well. Okay.
Yeah. So if either of them get in, they'd be a great nomination. It would also be really cool to see. I don't know the last time that one got in, but it would be really great to see that happen. So maybe it's this year. Who knows?
Yeah, that Dad's Not Home really got me as somebody who's sort of lived through it. Thanks to Joey, I got to see all 15. And I agree with you. It's two people, rock, paper, Beyond Silence, Friend of Dorothy. And I have Extremist and that's them going with two, kind of Russian film. But I think it's quite possible.
If they can have like 3 or 4 that are about children dying, I'm sure they can. That one year was called the Children's Death Year, I think. Katie Rich from Vanity Fair did it. If they can do like 4 kids getting murdered or killed in one year, I would think that they could do 2 with Russian.
Is that the helium year, Joey?
No, I think it's the skin year.
Oh,
helium too. Jesus Christ! It's
all right. Anyone else on live action short? All right, let's move into documentary feature. And as I look at our predictions as they are listed in our current deck right now, the only film that we all agree that will be nominated is 2,000 Meters to Andriivkia. I probably butchered that name.
So why who does it? Wait, Jalal, you don't think The Perfect Neighbor is going to be nominated?
No, I don't.
Why?
Okay, I knew I was going to get shit for this, but
yeah.
There are 2. I'm not confident in that prediction, but there are 2 rules I have, or like 2 consistencies that have been happening in the documentary branch, which, as anyone who follows the Oscars knows, is a very fickle and hard branch to understand. The first being it's become very international. In Perfect Stranger, am I getting the title right? Perfect Neighbor.
Perfect Neighbor.
Perfect Neighbor.
It's a very American
Perfect Strangers
film.
is Balky and Larry.
Yeah. Perfect Neighbor is a very American film, and it's almost mainstream. It's accessible on Netflix. It was a big CCA nominee. The second being, this branch does not like Netflix. A Netflix movie has not been nominated in this category since The Octopus Teacher won.
Oh,
They have
fucking movie.
gone out of their way to shun Netflix in this category. There was one from, I think, 2 years
Interesting.
ago that is Netflix, but Netflix bought it after the nominations. The Tiger one. And this year, I think in the fifth spot, I have, does someone have it open? Can they help me?
I have it open, but you have Cover Up in your list, and Cover Up is a Netflix.
Oh, see, but Cover Up is what's her face?
Poitras.
Flora Poitras. And
Poitras,
then in fifth place, see, I have to change it all because I have Cover Up, and I have in fifth place I put Apocalypse in the
Apocalypse in the Tropics is definitely getting in.
And it's a very international story. It feels like something they would have nominated in the past couple of years. It did really well in the precursors. So I just felt like I forgot that Cover Up was also Netflix. I was like, maybe it just felt like there were 3 strong Netflix movies this year, so maybe this would be the year where one sneaks in. But
Cover Up is really good too. I liked Cover Up. Yeah. I just keep thinking about Perfect Neighbor, the editing. Everybody keeps talking about editing. And I think that I don't know. I feel like you kind of can't ignore it in some way. Maybe because of especially of the topic, the subject too. So I wonder if documentarians will kind of like, okay, Netflix. But
Megan, so you love those 3. Which one would you think, if they're going to drop a Netflix film, which one do you think it would be then of those 3?
Wait, of Apocalypse and
if you think Perfect Neighbor is the strongest, sorry.
I think Perfect Neighbor is the strongest. I think Apocalypse in the Tropics is next, and then I think Cover Up would be after that.
Well, let's not also forget that the documentary branch has a habit of kicking out the one everyone thinks is the front runner, so that's always a possibility too.
That's true. I know.
I do think this year. Right. They really don't like using prior footage as well. Seems to be something that the doc branch doesn't go well with. So Perfect Neighbor has quite a few strikes against it. I don't have the guts to take it out, but yeah, I mean it's understandable if you're not predicting it.
I respect that. I still think, I think it's just been such a narrative all year long, and because people are so taken with the editing because it is all, I know it's not, original footage, but shot by the documentarian, but it is all like body cam footage, and putting that together is really a feat, and making a story out of that is I think also kind of inventive and different, and I do feel like that is maybe part of it too.
Well, it made it hard for me to take it out. I'm going to continue to take it out, but what made me go back and forth for a while was someone please help me with the name of the director of Perfect Neighbor. I forgot.
Aganda, or is that her name?
Mm-hmm. I forgot her name, but it's her year. She directed Perfect Neighbor, and she also directed one of the shorts in the doc short category.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think she's a producer. I think she's Devil is Busy.
Repeat that, Joey. Sorry.
I think she did. I think she's a producer on The Devil is Busy.
Oh, she's the producer.
I think so. I could be totally lying, but let me just double check. Working on it. Geeta Ganbir, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was also she's a producer on one of the other Netflix short that wasn't no, she's a co-director. I was wrong. She's also a director of or producer of the other Netflix short that did not get shortlisted, Massacre Kids.
Right. So while we've been talking, there have been some changes. So everyone has selected 2,000 meters. Everyone has selected Cover Up's Perfect Neighbor is our third with 7 selections from our team. And then following that would be My Undesirable Friends, Part 1, last year in Moscow, and Apocalypse in the Tropics.
And I have Alabama Solution, which I'm back and forth on because I haven't seen it yet, but it's been on my list. But that's like on HBO, so I wonder if they would they tend to not go for like HBO docs either, I feel like. So, but
Took
that's
it out of
also.
mine today.
Hmm?
I took it out of mine today.
Did you?
Yeah.
But it has, isn't it Andrew Jarecki?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, he's very well respected and obviously the Jinx and everything. So, yeah, I don't know.
Speaking as someone who has seen it, I mean, I thought he basically uncovered a state-run crime ring. I thought it was fantastic and very affecting, and yeah, and much like when you talk about The Perfect Neighbor is mostly body cam shots, right? Most of this is inmates who have gotten cell phones and it's mostly shot, and you think it would be visually unappealing, but the subject matter is so riveting, and the twists and turns that the story takes is too. I thought Cover Up did a really great job of showing how our federal government gets away with all kinds of shit, and I thought Alabama Solution did a great job of showing how our state government does as well.
That's really interesting.
But speaking of it being more localized, I wonder if that's going to hurt it too with what Jalal said about the international stuff. Like it didn't make the BAFTA long list as well. So,
yeah.
Maybe
It's a
this is
great year
just
for
a
docs. Yeah.
part thing, but I can't imagine anyone seeing Come See Me in the Good Light and not voting for it.
See, but I think that one, I've heard really good things about it. That's about the poet who just passed away, but they tend to not go for those type of like things about specific figures. Although they did a couple years ago, they did go for the one about a poet who just passed away like within the last year. But I wasn't sure about that one either because they're very fickle about, that like when it's a not I don't want to say a celebrity, when it's a famous person, they're weird about stuff like that, or somebody who's notable.
No, you're right. I mean I thought last time I remember a doc winning best film was probably Amy. Well, it was about a famous person, Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse. Yeah.
Maybe they would go for it since it's not a person that everyone knows as big. I don't know. I came to that movie late and I just thought it was I don't know, I thought that was a really beautiful documentary. So I would love
That's
to
what
see
I've
that get in.
heard.
Yeah.
I feel like it's on the rise. I don't know.
It made me think of though, remember the one with that was
Jean-Baptiste.
huge. Wait, what did you say?
The Jean-Baptiste one.
Yes, that one was like huge. Everybody loved it. And it was a really good documentary. And but then it kind of just got shut out. And I kind of was wondering if that's where this was going to. But I still need to see it. So I mean some of the docs that I really liked this year didn't get nominated. That always makes me sad. And I can't think of like Checkpoint Zoo was a really good doc that I was hoping to see get in here, but
My Mom Jane. I can't believe that missed.
oh, see, I thought that wouldn't get in because of again the celebrity call. They don't like to do that. Like, but yeah, I heard good things about that one too.
Yeah, that one sneaks up on you. I thought it was kind of okay, fine. I love anything about old Hollywood and celebrities, so I'm watching it, and all of a sudden, by the end of it, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, this is a contender," but apparently not.
And now I'm looking up my other ones that I liked. Predators was one that I really liked. Yeah.
All right. Anything else on doc feature?
No.
All right. Original song. So we across the board, we all have Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. We have Train Dreams from Train Dreams, and we have I Lied to You from Sinners. Then following up, 7 of us have Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, and the perennial nomination from Diane Warren, Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless. David, you're a brave man for not including that one.
Dear Me Too. Jesus.
I mean, it would be ironic if isn't that the documentary about her? If they didn't get to her for if they excluded her from a nomination for a film about her, would be ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Maybe they will do that.
It's also shortlisted for score too.
Yeah.
Oh.
If she can get in for that Glenn Close Mila Kunis movie that I know that I saw, but I still am not convinced that it actually exists.
Cheetah
I
movie.
Yeah, the movie where she gets her teeth knocked out. I don't know. She can literally get nominated for anything.
She got in for that one too. That one that was like a foreign language film, I think, from a couple years ago. That I had to like, because I was talking to her about it, and I had to like track it down. I could not find it
or something like that.
I'm like looking it up now. But I remember like it wasn't. Well, yeah, I'm looking it up. Diane Oscar nomination. Hold on.
It wasn't actually. It wasn't.
EOC? Was that?
Yeah. It wasn't fully a Middleburg experience until we see Diane Warren, and I think it took until the last day for me and Mark to see her. We were buying like cookies or getting coffee, and like we turned around, and I was like, "Oh, it's Diane Warren," and there she was. Did I take a picture? Yes, I did.
She's right now eight years in a row with a nomination. So
I will say she's impressive in terms of. I went to an Oscar event for the song for The Wild Robot. So it was an event for The Wild Robot for who is that man, Joey, that wrote the music?
Chris Bowers.
Chris Bowers. Yeah. It's an event for him. The woman was performing. Who shows up and attends it? Diane Warren. What does it turn into? A Diane Warren Oscar campaign event for herself. Because she's the one that is going up to everyone and forcing them to talk to her. So like no one works harder.
You know what she can't do? She can't force anybody to remember any fucking songs. No one can remember them. No.
We've just spent 5 minutes talking about them all though.
I know, but no one. You're good. It's going to be garbage out very quick. I
think she's an amazing songwriter. I think she's incredible. And also, by the way, the film that I had to track down was "Tell It Like a Woman." The song was "Applause." Just wanted everybody to know that.
Applause. That's right.
Yeah. And it was not Lady Gaga's Applause.
Right.
Yeah. I think she's such a talent. I think she's like, after I talked to her, I started listening to like all of her songs, like just going through them all. And I'm like, she's incredible. And I think she's a genius. I want her to win.
Yeah, she's an absolute machine. It's just that the formula is so thick throughout, but it is her formula and it does work for her. I won't deny that. I think
the formula works. I love it. I think that there are other male artists that also have formulas, but
hey, don't get me arguing against that point. I agree with you. I'm just saying, anyway,
you're fine. You're fine.
Dear me too. That's all I got to say.
I think in this category, if salt and sour then sweet doesn't get a nomination, and it won't, then it's a crime because it's the best of the 15 as far as I'm concerned.
Oh.
See the film, listen to the song.
You're really all in on that movie.
I am. Really it hit me on a level.
Who writes that one, Frank?
That was written by Sarah Bareilles and oh God, I can't think of the other person, but another famous female singer. Somebody look this up.
Okay.
I'm on it.
Okay, you're on it.
Right. Oh, I was right. Brandi Carlile.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh God, I love her. And Brandi Carlile shows up everywhere too. She's kind of like the new Diane Warren, where she's.
I would love it if we just say her name 3 times she appears.
I love Brandi Carlile.
Also, another old weirdo for her to appear.
But Brandi Carlile is not the new Diane Warren. She's just the new Brandi Carlile.
That's true. But I mean, like the fact that she's like her thing is that she helps older icons. Like she did Tanya
Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John. Like she's always like
I love
Tanya
that album.
Doc was great that she was in.
She was also at the and she would perform at the John Prine documentary concert film too. She's very big on history.
Yes.
And her new album did really well already too. So
it's not going to happen. Billy Idol would make me really, really happy. I'm just of that age, and the fact that guy's still alive is pretty fucking remarkable.
That would be cool.
So, David, you are going with both Wicked songs, and Jalal, you were going with both Sinner songs. as of the last update.
Yeah, because I listened to them.
Yeah, both of the Sinner songs are better. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
The Wicked songs for me, why I decided to leave them out, because I think everyone was trying to make space for one. But then there was lots of arguments about which one it should be. And I think most people have come to the consensus that like it's the Girl in the Bubble one. But like I have heard different opinions about it, and we don't have to do either. And they don't have to do either.
I think it'll be fine if I mean, I don't know if the only reason I have one of them in is because I don't know, are the names on the ballot? I don't know. I don't know if they're just maybe a bunch of Steven Schwartz fans. So
well, Wicked as a film seems to be fading a little bit down the stretch here anyway. And maybe,
a little?
Maybe someone. All right. Well, I was being polite.
It did very well at all the guilds. We're going to get into this argument for the rest of this podcast.
Are you talking about Wicked? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
But it is fading, yes.
All right, moving on to international feature. We have 3 consensus titles, which is no surprise: Sentimental Value, It Was Just an Accident, and The Secret Agent. And then there is a combination of choices for the next 3, which are No Other Choice, The Voice of Hind Rajab, and Sirat. Sirat has come up.
Sirat's got some buzz. Yeah,
a lot of buzz.
And it's a movie I saw, and I was like, I don't like this. And then I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and I kind of want to rewatch it. And I'm like, what is like something happens in the middle of it that's so insane. Like there's a lot of insanity in it.
Don't you love just thinking about something you don't really care about? It's like all of my ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, I think that the fact that it's showed up on so many of the shortlist category, like in the I think was it sound and yeah. Or wait, what was the last one?
Casting.
That's crazy.
Well, it's one of the best casting of the year, but yeah.
I think that it's gonna get it, and I actually need to see it again. So
if that's the case, I was gonna say, if that's the case, do you think Sirat bumps The Voice of Hind Rajab? Because the other 4 seem pretty strong, and the Hind Rajab was my favorite foreign film of the year. But yeah,
I haven't seen that one, but that was the one that I bumped because I feel like No Other Choice. People really responded to that one. Obviously, Secret Agent. It Was Just an Accident. Sentimental Value. If I were gonna put in an additional one, I would take out No Other Choice, even though it's a fine film. But I would put in The President's Cake. That's another one that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. I really love that.
Megan, I think where I agree with you on that in the insidery baseball part is like I have a hard time thinking that this category will be filled with 4, 5 neon films. I don't think the voters sit there and go, we're not going to vote for neon, but I think it's a hard time for a smaller distribution company to get everyone to see these films. And I think we've seen No Other Choice miss certain places. Like I don't think they did very well on the BAFTA short long lists. And The President's Cake is a film that I wanted to make room for, but The Voice of Hind Rajab has been rising. But The President's Cake is a Sony Pictures classic film.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure in the old Academy, when there used to be this kind of clique of voters in the international branch controlling what was nominated, Sony did pretty well here, and it is a story about a child. So I would not be shocked if it does well on Thursday.
I would love that. Belen from Argentina is also great, especially since it has the director, and she directed it and she stars in it, and she's really great.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so good. That would be a cool story too. And then I don't know, Frank, you're an expert on this category too, I feel like. But Palestine 36 is one that I've been hearing a lot about. And I was wondering if you felt like there's any kind of swell there.
They've been pushing it, but I don't think so. It's a little messy. Is the thing about Palestine 36. I think the one to watch out for is Kokuhu. Kokuho. Sorry. I
Oh,
really do. Like, first of all, I think it was really interesting that there was this idea that there might be 4 international features that enter the Best Picture category. It's not going to happen. We're lucky
right.
if there are 3 this year. I think it was just an accident is losing steam because people are
I
actually
think it is
watching it.
too. Oh, I liked that one. See,
I liked it,
I
but
liked it better than The Secret Agent, but I feel
did
like
you really?
yeah, but I feel like maybe I need to I mean, I think the ending of it was just an accident is incredible.
It's incredibly
Um,
powerful. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, see,
Um,
it didn't hit me, and I saw it twice.
that's
And
how I
I
felt about Secret Agent. It just didn't like I didn't respond to it, I guess. But
I'm with you, Frank. I felt like it tonally was all over the place, and I don't feel like its ending hit because I didn't see how we got there. So yeah, I was really confused when that was the big international movie for so long, but I still need to see The Secret Agent. And I was so hoping No Other Choice was going to be that 10th or ninth Best Picture nominee. But yeah, it's fighting to even get that 5th slot in foreign language. But I thought that movie was amazing. And I was just one thing, Megan, with Surratt, and it still could easily get in. It has been doing so well. I do wonder, while it's been seen more and definitely could get in, there are a lot of people that after they see it, they really hate it.
yes. Well, that's how I felt. And then now I'm like, well, do I need to rewatch it? Because I do think it's manipulative in a way. And it's weird. I mean, it's about Marie, if you're listening to this podcast, it's about a guy and his son who are looking for the father's looking for his daughter, and they go to this like rave in the middle of the desert, and then they have to cross this like special area. But what happens in the middle of it is just so like, what the hell?
And World War III is kind of going on.
Yes,
Yeah.
that too.
Well, like
There's
European audiences are really responding to it really strongly in
Yeah.
the words. And I think they're responding to, I mean, you're talking about it on a surface level what it's about, but I think they're also
Right.
kind of responding very positively to what it's saying about us as Western audiences and how we react to war and how we think we're above it and we can rise above it and we're the heroes. And in the end, we're just like everybody else. And I think that message, oh, sorry, my computer's dying. But I think that for me, that message rang really powerfully, even when I was struggling to watch it. And I don't know if
Okay.
I'll ever revisit it, but that feeling afterwards has stuck with me.
Yeah, I feel like I need to. It's like I said, it's one that I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this, but then like I cannot stop thinking about it.
Megan, can I ask you a question? Did you
Sure.
watch it on the big screen or did you watch it?
I watched it at home.
Okay, that's a huge difference. I've seen it twice, once at home, once on the big screen, and there's nothing like that film on the big screen.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. That's good to know. Also, I wanted to bring up quickly before we move on to the next one. Sound of Falling is one that I've really wanted to see, and I've heard really good
I
things
know.
about it.
I know. I talked to Frank about it when I watched it because I interviewed the editor, and I think I'm not necessarily sure that I would say that I like it. It's just so much of it, especially the imagery and the structure, has really stuck with me. It's really kind of weird, and a lot of it is very upsetting, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of the imagery is going to stick with me for a very long time.
Wow, okay.
It's a beautiful film to watch, and I
Mhm.
think a second viewing of that one helps too. That's all I'll say.
Are you telling us to move on, Clarence? I saw the little.
Maybe sort of.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Subtle,
Okay,
Megan. There we go.
All right, let's jump to visual effects, and we have 2 films that are common across all of us: Avatar: Fire and Ash, and Sinners. 7 of us have Frankenstein and F1, and then Wicked for Good, Superman, Lost Bus, and Jurassic World. God bless you, Megan, you and your dinosaur fetish.
I mean, we don't know. Like, this is a weird category. It could show up. What if Tron shows up?
It could be Tron.
Yeah.
I think this is the category. Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No.
Go ahead.
I had Wicked in just because I heard it did well in the Bake Off. I don't know.
Okay.
In the Bake
Yeah, I
Off?
think this.
Yeah, the like presentation to people to be like, this is what our movie is about. There's certain
I didn't
categories that have
know
Bake
that it
Offs.
was called a Bake Off.
They all make their favorite cupcakes.
Yeah.
And I heard the Jurassic World cupcakes were.
That sounds yummy.
I just don't think they've nominated the Jurassic World series has never been nominated. Jurassic Park has, and like the Lost World Jurassic Park, and I think maybe in the third one, but I don't think any of the new ones have ever gotten nominated. So that's why I didn't put it in.
I don't know. Sometimes they put random things in this category,
Sure.
so that's what I was going for.
I would love it if the Lost Bus got in there because I'm higher on that movie than everybody.
Oh, I love the Lost Bus.
Oh, you do?
It's
Slow down,
go.
Joey. Slow down.
Okay, good. I'm just unaware. Ignorant, not mean.
Joey, it's a movie for gay people. They have a character actress, I'm forgetting her name, on the phone, cheering
Ashley
Matthew
Atkinson.
Ashley Atkinson cheering Matthew McConaughey on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Friend of the
From a phone.
podcast. Friend of the
podcast. Ashley Atkinson. We would love to just talk to you about anything.
Phenomenal
Please come on.
actor,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mark. We all cut you off.
Good. I was going to say that I think this is the category I made the most amount of changes to in the last few days. I just kind of overhauled it because I think we had the VES nominations came out, and like you mentioned, the Bake Off. So I think this is one of the trickier ones, and I do think Jurassic World could get it. And I don't have it in my 5, but I also don't have Frankenstein or Wicked anymore. So it's kind of all over the place right now, I think, with this category.
Mark,
Can I ask Mark? Oh,
I was gonna, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, so what made you take Frankenstein out since that seems to be on the rise?
The VES. It got snubbed in the main category that's needed for VES.
I was actually going to
that
ask sort of the same question, Mark, but my issue with it is, while it's a great looking movie in most respects, the wolves, the sheep, and the deer are pretty awful. Pretty awful.
They are. They are. It was like my number 4 or 5, I think, for most of the season. Maybe I can't remember where I had it, but the wolves were I was very curious about that, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's why the VES went the way they did. So
those CGI effects are bad. You mentioned the animals, but some of the practical effects are pretty phenomenal, like that chef. So I just want to point that out. There are some good things there.
A lot of the movie is great. I mean, I just think it does poorly by the animals. That's it. So
yeah, I think we'll talk about it a lot in the crafts that we're about to get through here, and I think it shows up very well in just about every category except visual effects.
Take it out. I'm taking it out. I'm doing it.
Wait, you're taking Frankenstein out?
Yeah.
Don't blame me if it happens, because
it's fine. But I'll go down with the ship. Not the ship in the movie, but the ship.
Right.
I'm gonna put the Lost Bus in. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I have the Lost Bus in as well.
All right. Very good. Anything else on VFX?
No.
All right, moving on to sound. And in we have F1, Sinners, Avatar, Fire and Ash across the board. And then most of us have One Battle After Another and Frankenstein. Those seem to be the top 5. Anyone want to jump in and sound? And then, it looks like the only other 2 films that are factoring in are Wicked and Surat.
I was going to say, did anybody go with Surat? Because that's the one that I was right there with Frankenstein and Surat at the end, and I'm probably going to go Frankenstein, but I'd be curious to hear if anybody has Surat.
I can't imagine Surat not getting in here.
Yeah.
Even though I have it at 5.
It just didn't. It would be kind of an upset. It didn't get any, and I know the international films don't do very well with the guilds, but it also didn't even make BAFTA's long list.
Yeah,
I needed something, whether it was motion picture sound editors, amps, BAFTA. We'll get CAS tomorrow, the sound mixers guild, but it really didn't get anything. So it's curious that it showed up in all those short lists, it's going to probably pop up in a category or two that we may not be expecting. This would make the most sense, I think, but it was just too hard to pull Frankenstein out for that.
Fair. And I just took Wicked out because I forgot that I left it in. So goodbye, Wicked. So
yeah.
Anything else on sound? All right. Let's jump to the next category, which is original score. And we have Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Hamnet across the board, Frankenstein, and then it looks like Wicked, Sirat, Train Dreams, and Marty Supreme rounding out our most predicted films. Thoughts?
I was doing a little bit of research on this category. I love that they mentioned 20 movies on the short list, but I feel like it always comes down to, I think I looked at the last 7 years, and if it's usually 3 to 4 Best Picture nominees, especially in the expanded era, and if it's not a Best Picture nominee, it's either somebody that they are very familiar with, like John Williams, or an animated movie. So I don't think it's like Captain America. It's not Nuremberg, not Truth and Treason. I wish it was Wake Up Dead Man because I love that score. I went on a limb and kept Wicked in there because no one thought it was going to be in there last year, and I think no one thinks it's going to be this year. So I
did that too.
Again.
Yeah.
And I actually think that score is actually good. I think it captures the essence of what the movie is trying to do. But who knows? Maybe the bloom is totally off the rose, off the poppy. Yeah.
Does JFC, just gonna say, does the JFC after the Diane Warren movie stand for Jesus fucking Christ, or is it something?
I don't know who did that.
At least, I think Joey's correct. In the last 5 years, 17 of the 25 nominees were also Best Picture nominees. And of the 8 that were not, 3 were score nominees and 4 were visual effects nominees. So it's interesting how score might connect to that. And Frank, if you're taking Sirat in sound, I'm curious if you're taking it in score, because that would make sense in that.
I did, yes.
Yeah. That's why I pulled Sirat out of sound. That was another reason, is that I didn't have it in score, and I felt like there's got to be some other connection there. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Sirat show up in both score and sound.
I was just going to say I went with Marty Supreme just because whenever I hear people praise that movie, that's one of the big things people praise. So, and it's on the upswing pretty much everywhere, so I can't imagine it not getting in.
Do you wonder, Ben?
Yeah.
I agree with you about Marty Supreme and the score being very good and people like it. But when it comes to this kind of fickly branch, sometimes they get weird about scores that are so mixed in with they also excellently use pop music throughout the film.
Right.
So that was what made me go back and forth on whether they'll ding it for that.
I was worried about that.
My biggest thing.
Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I would say my biggest thing was, I kind of agree that Wicked's bloom is just kind of fading, and I'm not even certain about some of its songs. I mean, I nominated one, and so I just feel like it's more, I just think they'll go with Marty Supreme just because they like the movie, and people keep talking about the score. So I just don't think that kind of thing's really going to get in the way of it. Yeah, that's kind of why I went with it.
It's interesting to me because with Marty Supreme, I remember the needle drops much better than the score, but it also might be, I was in high school in the 80s and I listened to all that stuff. When I hear Tears for Fears, I swoon. So maybe that's just me, but I really don't remember the score nearly as well as I do the
I actually don't remember the score that much. It's not a movie I particularly got into, but it's just more of what I'm seeing other people respond to. And I just remember listening when anyone talks about that movie, the score is just always one of the things that shows up. And so that just, to me, just seems, okay, this is something people are really seeming to lock on to.
And that's the argument
And like I
I
said,
went with for Train Dreams, actually. It was that the same argument you just made was that the
that,
score
that makes sense too. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's interesting this year. We have, I think, several categories where at least 4 or all 5 nominees stem from the same 5 films. That's one, at least in my predictions, that's one thing I'm noticing is Sinners, One Bell After Another, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Marty. It's the same 5 that showed up, I believe, for SAG and DGA. Right?
Wow.
Maybe.
Oh,
DGA, yeah. So the same 5, right? So, and then you could see that same 5 being casting. You could see that same 5 being here in score, cinematography. Like it's odd how that 5 is carrying over, and I'll speak for myself into my predictions. Like it's hard to pull away from that 5, and so that's another reason I went with Marty in the 5th spot instead of Surratt here was, it feels like that 5's going to carry a lot of weight.
Anything else on score? All right, let's move to my favorite category, production design. And we have a lot of consensus here. What's that?
That's your favorite? That's your favorite?
That is my favorite category. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We have a lot of consensus here.
Cool.
All of us agree on Wicked, at least based on these current, don't change them, based on our current predictions. Wicked, Hamnet, Sinners, and Frankenstein, all across the board. And then One Battle After Another, Avatar, and my personal favorite production design of the year. It's not going to get nominated, but I don't care. We still predict it. Fantastic Four: First Steps. Just the visuals in that film are astounding. I love all of the rounded edges. I have talked to the production designer a couple of times for his work on Loki. Love the look of this film. And I think it would be, that is the single nomination that would make them the absolute happiest on Thursday morning if Kazra Farhani were to be nominated.
This one also won't get nominated, but it would also make me very, very happy. Sentimental value. It's not showy, but just how important the house and the stage and everything is there. Again, I got to talk to the production designer and just all that extra detail and how they mentioned going into it. And it was a lot more than you would think with just those few sets. And if that happened, that would just make me ecstatic.
I know my friend laughed at me I voted for it and at the Critics' Choice for Best Production Design, and my friend laughed at me like, why? It's a house. And I'm like, because it's so important. It's a character. Also, I think didn't the director tell us that he did a Q&A and he said that he found the house and and it looked the way it looked at the end. And the guy was the owner of the house was like, oh, I'm so excited to be a part of this film. And he was just like, oh, we're going to make we're going to turn your house into, what you've done to it is that people are not going to like it because that's how it ends up. I don't know. So I thought that was really interesting that he was, the gasp from the audience when you see the house at the end. I think I've seen multiple people talk about it. It's like, oh, you took away everything that was, that everything was special about it. So I thought it was such an important thing. So I'm glad you pointed that out, Ben.
It's not a crazy prediction because it's, as you guys are talking about it reminds me of 5 or 6 years ago, wasn't the Parasite house nominated here?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but they built that entire set though. There wasn't just the house. They built the.
Oh yeah, I just mean in terms of
flooded
and thinking about a modern film. And
with sentimental value, they did actually. They have the exterior of the house, but they had to make their own on another set too. Yeah. So yeah.
And I'll just say, Megan's point to me is that there's a difference between best production design and most production design. And a lot of times most is what carries in these categories, but it's exceeding. Also that movie also has one of the best endings of the year too, and the house is key in that, I think.
Yeah.
So. The same with costume. It's like most usually.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anything else? Any other potential dark horse candidates
I'm
other than
just gonna
cinematography?
take this moment so that I don't have to do it every category because it's not gonna happen, and I've accepted it. But I would love to see craft nominations for Testament of Anne Lee, which I think is this beautiful, gorgeous fucking film that should be in every craft category but won't be,
Yes,
I
including we missed
can't
it at
believe it.
score.
I can't believe
Yeah.
it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I
I
It's out of
know.
my system, but just know I think it should be in every category.
Yeah, I agree.
agreed. All right. Moving on to costume design. Joey, your favorite category. And we have consensus here as well. Frankenstein, Wicked, Hamnet, Sinners. The closest to another consensus would be Hedda. And then we have One Battle After Another and Nuremberg. Frank,
I
Nuremberg.
just changed that actually
Okay.
because I honestly think that Nuremberg is going to get one or two nominations, and this is the likeliest category.
I think one battle after another, you've got to think about that costume that Leo wears, how it became so iconic. Kind of like Oppenheimer. I remember talking to the costume designer, and she was saying how people don't think there's much to it, but it's an iconic look, and that's the same with Leo's look. So that's why I kept that in there.
there's a lot in there about the costume of like this is a really great example about how modern costume design never gets attention and it's mostly period. It's like hoop skirts and corsets, and which is all great and beautiful. There's a lot of work that comes into it. But Colleen Atwood did the costumes for One Battle After Another. And you're right, like the robe is really iconic already, but even something like the boots that Chase Infinity wears
Yes.
are like I can't remember either the same boots or the same style boots that Tiana Taylor wears. Um, there's a lot in there. The thing that I think is so funny is I've been bitching about that for years and years and years. I don't have One Battle After Another in there. I have Hedda in there just because um, when I spoke to that costume designer, Lindsay Pugh, there's a lot in terms of like I don't know. She explained like the color of Tessa Thompson's dress. It depends on the light, so it's very sort of symbolic of her character. She's her dress. I was like, I had to ask her. I was like, is it gray? Is it green? Is it whatever? She's like, yes, yes, it is. And like the way that stuff is overlaid on top of it, I don't know. I can see it having an edge because it is period, but I would love to see One Battle After Another get in because I think like in the last 10 years, like 2, 3 movies that are considered contemporary have gotten in. So yeah, but I need Hedda to have something.
Yeah, I did
Something.
too,
Yes.
and it is a gorgeous movie.
And the costumes of Hedda also, beyond everything you just said, also are pivotal, I think, into certain parts of the story as well, which I think gives it a boost.
All right. Anything else on costume design?
No.
All right. Pushing us forward to makeup and hair, I think is the next category. Yes, it is. Makeup and hair. And we have 3 common consensus nominees: Frankenstein, Wicked, and Sinners. Joey, you're not going with the Smashing Machine. Your hatred of that movie is coloring your opinion of its makeup. Although I will say, whenever we saw the trailer back in the early fall, like everybody was making fun of how he looked in that trailer.
I just wondered. I haven't seen Kokuho yet. I'm sorry, Kokuho yet. But I wonder if like there's not a. I feel like old age makeup is really huge in here. I don't know if that plays into Nuremberg, but
It does. Yeah.
it does. Okay, well maybe that's it. I mean that's the other one that might get in, but I don't know. There's something about I don't know if they'll respond to like the traditional kind of makeup that movie has seen. Like I don't know. People could probably say they've seen that kind of makeup in other movies before, but there's probably something to be said, or maybe fans that are like have an appreciation for that kind of traditional style. Like the kabuki makeup is important. It's historic. So that I switched it. I don't know.
So's the hair. I mean,
And the hair, yeah,
it's
yeah,
astonishing in that film.
yeah. Wigs.
really, to me, I'm going to ditch on the Smashing Machine a little bit here too. If you
Oh God, I fucking hate it, David. Oh,
I
well,
hated it too.
I didn't hate it quite as much as you, but I did not like it. But I'll say that if you wanted to pick the makeup and hair from a colossally failed box office combat sports movie, Christie is far better at the makeup than Smashing Machine. And it's not close.
I just think it's going to get in because of the person behind the makeup and how respected they
yeah.
are. So
And it would be what the only one that has like a real. If it gets nominated over something like Kokuho, it would be the only thing, or like Nuremberg, it would be the only one that has like a real person makeup, like a recreating somebody. I don't know.
yeah.
You mean Frankenstein wasn't real?
Yes, this is your intervention to tell you that Frankenstein's not real.
Can somebody check me if I'm wrong here, but the Academy is not really well known for representing, with maybe with not some nominations, but definitely not with a lot of awards, black hair traditionally. Am I missing a win somewhere? Like I remember when Dolomite came out. Did Black Panther win for makeup and hair?
Maybe I made that up. I'm sorry.
Ma Rainey did.
Ma Rainey did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it hasn't been the strongest category, but it's improved in that regard. But Sinners comes with the added value of the makeup too, which I think, gives it a better chance. Although I think I still have Frankenstein at number one.
Yeah, I'm on the page I can't find anything that deals with black hair. I'm all the way back in the 90s. So
You've
the
gone
80s now.
You've gone too far.
Yeah, you don't have to go any further than the 90s.
Correct myself real quick. I don't even think the original Black Panther was nominated to
really. Oh,
if I'm missing it somewhere, but
interesting.
Wakanda Forever was it was shortlisted, but it was not nominated.
So I'm looking more right than I thought. That's good. Good for me. Well done.
In recent years, they have made strides. Like they nominated the Coming to America sequel, but you are right, David, about their blind spots.
All right. Jumping to animated feature, we have K-pop Demon Hunters, everybody across the board. We have Zootopia 2, the highest grossing animated film of all time now, and Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, with Arco, Elio also tagged, and then onesie votes for In Your Dreams, Scarlet, and Demon Slayer. Ben, what's going on in your mind about the animated feature category? Because this is yours.
Yeah. Well, pretty much I think 4 slots seem pretty locked up based on the way the precursors have gone. K-pop Demon Hunters, Utopia 2, Little Amelie, and Arco. And Elio makes sense. It's the Pixar movie. It gets in. But there's just been so little passion for that movie. It just seems to be getting. And then Demon Slayer got the Golden Globe. It's on the short list. Anime is on the rise. It's one of the few it's not one of the few, but it's been a big box office success this year as well. There's been a lot more conversation about it. My biggest thing, and I mentioned in my article with Demon Slayer, is to understand what's going on in the movie, you probably need to see 3 seasons in a movie previously to get into this one. But it has been showing up, and it feels like at some point, unless Pixar has a drastic turnaround in its level of quality on certain things, I think Demon Slayer will get in. So I could easily be wrong, and Elio and Pixar still has enough goodwill, and it's going to be a different thing. But it seems like at some point, something not Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli connected anime is going to get in here, because it's just getting bigger and bigger. And that's not just because I'm the contact with Crunchyroll and I like what they put out. So what are you going to ask, Joel?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But Didn't Elio? I hear what you say about it, but didn't it do very well with the Annies relatively?
It's done well. I mean, it's made these same, it's gotten nominated. It's just, this branch has gotten more indie with some of the stuff, and not that Demon Slayer is indie, but anime still is kind of deemed a niche. And and the Annies don't always match up with the animated branch, and the fact that Little Amelie and Arco are these two indie animated films that literally just seem to, because of what they did at the Annecy Film Festival, have just kind of swept this category and keep going. It just feels like more and more things are changing here, and maybe this is the year it happens. Maybe we still kind of keep that same mainstream thing going, but something has been changing a bit here. So that's kind of where I'm going with.
Something bubbling under the surface.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I had my way, Chainsaw Man would be getting in here, but that's got even less people paying attention to it. So,
but you do not.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, geez. Any other comments on animation? All right. Jumping forward to cinematography. The common consensus picks are One Battle, Sinners, Train Dreams, followed by Frankenstein. Most of us have. Most of us have Hamnet, although a few dropped off after it didn't receive, what was it, Mark? Didn't
receive ASC, I believe, and BSC, neither of the two guilds, American cinematographers or British cinematographers. Pretty big misses.
And Marty Supreme hit those.
Marty Supreme hit both, yeah.
All right. And then Marty Supreme. And David, Begonia.
What the fuck I was doing there? Honestly, I just, for whatever reason, I was like, I just don't know about, what did I pull out? I'll pull off of Frankenstein. Yeah, I mean, that's probably pretty questionable looking. So yeah, this is where I prove that I'm not really good at this, is why it probably
Well, it's Robbie Ryan. He's a pretty respected cinematographer, but
it's a great looking movie. I just don't know if it has the juice.
Yeah, I mean, it is certainly that. It just doesn't have a lot of, I look for ASC and BSC primarily, and then of course you have the BAFTA, which we only have the long list right now, and for Sinners, One Battle, Frankenstein, Train Dreams, Marty Supreme, they all have all three of those, right? Except Train Dreams doesn't have BSC, actually, the British cinematographers. But again, we're coming back to that 5 I was talking about. So, if Train Dreams misses in place of Hamnet, once again, you have a category of Sinners, One Battle, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty. It's kind of happening a lot. But I would be shocked if Train Dreams miss. I'd be very sad if it missed, because that's my favorite shot film of the year.
Me too.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. Anything else in cinematography? All right. Editing. I don't think I've changed my editing predictions since November. But we have 5 films that are pretty much picked across the board. One Battle, Sinners, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, and F1, with 2 votes for Frankenstein. So, Ben, Jalal, Frankenstein?
It's just been doing well everywhere, kind of going back to Mark's thing. It's kind of the big 5 movies. And I'll also admit I haven't seen F1, so that probably doesn't help. But it just seems logical that it could get in. So,
yeah.
One of the hardest categories. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, because we're talking about editing in Frankenstein, there's always like one movie here that in editing that kind of drops out that you're like, how did that not get an editing nom? And so I'm just going to go with Hamnet for that. And I went with Frankenstein because I saw Frankenstein at a huge 35 millimeter screening here, just of regular audience people in LA. And everyone stayed for the credits. It was like a 10 p.m. showing. It was a lot of younger people, but they stayed for the credits and they just started applauding for random craftspeople. And I realized it was like people who have worked as assistants or like lower level people within the craft. And I just feel like that excitement is going to push Frankenstein into not weird categories. It's deserved in a lot of categories in these crafts, but that's kind of what I'm where I'm going with that. So like when in doubt, Frankenstein essentially, except for visual effects.
I also think its editing is really good too. So it's not like it's undeserved. And the way it does, it's telling two different stories and how slowly moves through, especially the monsters part, I think beautifully edited.
Mhm. I think there's some logic behind Hamnet possibly dropping out of here. It wouldn't be a choice that I would hold because, once again, there's most editing and there's best editing. But this is a category where the flashier the work, often the more it gets rewarded.
Yeah, and this year's especially hard because we don't have Ace as we didn't have it last year either. We again don't have BAFTA, and then we also for this category don't have a short list, which can oftentimes help with these craft categories. So this is one of the harder, I think, categories to predict, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have two misses in there that are kind of surprising.
Sorry, what do you think the two most likely misses would be?
I think Hamnet for sure. And after that, God, I can't see One Battle Center's F1 or Marty missing, but that's why this feels dangerous, So, um, boy, I don't know that I could pick another one because Marty is so fast, quick paced. F1 to me is the best edited film of the year, and then Sinners in One Battle. I don't know how you make those movies without edit, well, obviously without editing, but I don't see, I think a lot of their strength is on editing. I couldn't tell you what the second one is, but Hamnet definitely feels like the weak link of the five. And I could see Frankenstein, I could see Weapons, I could see A House of Dynamite. There's quite a few, like I wouldn't be surprised with any of those. Weapons would be kind of a really cool choice too here.
Ooh.
I love that. Anytime there's any possibility for weapons to pop up anywhere, I get so excited. It'd be so fun.
You're not alone.
It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
The PGA were toying with me with that one, I thought.
I know, right?
All right, moving forward to the casting category, the new category this year, the 24th. And we have four films in consensus across the board. One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, and Marty Supreme, with sentimental value in the fifth slot, and then Weapons, Frankenstein, and Secret Agent rounding out the selections here. So, who wants to?
I was going to say I went with Weapons because
Me too.
I think that was such a telling nomination or like not nomination, telling shortlist like appearance because I was like, oh, they really responded to the fact, like maybe they've responded to the fact that there's all these kids that are really good in it, or maybe they responded to the fact that like Amy Madigan kind of surprises everybody. I feel like personally this is an Amy Madigan pairing here. So I know Joey, you have that in your picks too, and that's why I picked it because I thought it was kind of like, fine. They could have gone with any actress, who could. I mean, they could have made it. I don't know. They found something special in Amy Madigan with this casting.
It's an inspired choice. I mean, you're basically pulling somebody who was not because they don't have talent, was put kind of in mothballs for a while, and yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Weapons, although I love that performance. But I could see that, and when you say pairing it with Amy Madigan, it makes sense.
And the cast of children are really good in it too. Like Carrie Christopher. I saw somebody online was saying that was their pick for like best supporting actor, and they're like, they're gonna hate me for that. I'm like, no, that's great because he is really good in it. Like I love stuff like that.
What makes Weapons really stand out in this category, and I don't know how many voters will know this, but the fact that the film had to be completely recast from its original
that
cast,
too.
That and it still worked really well, right? Like it has probably the coolest backstory, but I don't know how known that is with
I think they're
voters.
aware.
If
Yeah,
they know that,
It was
I think they're
recast.
aware of that, yeah.
Ray
It
Nada.
happens so
so
often.
yeah, if they're pretty aware of that, I might be moving Frankenstein out and putting that in. But right now, I have the same SAG DGA5 once again in this category.
I will say, David, to push back at you a little bit, she wasn't in mothballs. She was working, and she's a well-respected professor at Reed College for a while.
I'm not trying to ditch on Amy Madigan. I love Amy Madigan. I'm just saying she had not had anything high profile in a long time.
But just poking fun at you. But I think everything you've said, Megan, is true as to why I got in here. I think the Amy Madigan stuff is a key thing. I think the kid is a huge thing. His casting children is really, really, really hard, and that kid makes or breaks this movie just as much as Amy. I think it's also needs to be pointed out that this, I think what helps, I'm not predicting, I go back and forth on whether I want to predict weapons am I for the spot, but it's cast by Allison Jones, who is a well-revered comedic casting director who was pigeonholed into The Office, Parks and Rec, so many great comedic television shows. And then she came, and I don't think she wanted to be pigeonholed in just comedy. And then she came in here and did something completely different. That I think is probably, so I think this is a very probably inspired choice. And one I went back and forth with. So there's lots of reasons why this could and might happen.
I ask a question about, like, since this is a new category, and since there are people that are shortlisted here like a Nina Gold, who's synonymous. If it's British, it's probably Nina Gold. Do you think that there is like an urgency to nominate / award, like I know this is not me beating the wicked drum, but like Bernie Telsey is the casting director of that movie, and he does tons of theater, tons of film, and I don't know if I know that something like The Bloom is off the rose for something like Wicked, but I would not be surprised if something like that came in because they're like, we finally have an award to do it. So I feel like that's maybe a dark horse. I don't know.
Can I piggyback on that question? Is it casting directors solely who nominate other casting directors here? Okay.
Yeah, there's 170 plus members in the Academy's casting directors branch. They're the ones who are going to be doing the nominating here. So that's, for the season, I was kind of forecasting that it would line up with something like SAG Ensemble and other ensemble prizes. That's what I've been, as far as precursors, that's what I've been tracking here. But I don't, because I was worried that the Academy would confuse ensemble with actual casting. But then when you think about who does the nomination, it's the branch. So, that's where your Nina Golds, your big names, they know their names, they know their industry. I think that's going to be key.
Well, I don't think it's just casting directors that know the names, though. I think casting directors work hand in hand with directors and everyone else. So, like, if there's one branch that knows these casting directors in and out, it's the actors, the biggest branch of the Academy. They work with them. They make or break their careers. They know they have very personal relationships with all of them. But yeah, I think this first one, like you said, Joey, Telsey getting in is not a bad prediction because he's so well known. It's why I think Francine Meisler is going to win for Sinners. I think, Mark, one thing I think to think about with this category, which is interesting, you pointed out it's about like 160 people. Or is that what you said is the official number?
170-ish.
170. It's a weird branch because it's been a branch of the Academy for a long time, even before there's a thing. But because there wasn't these awards bringing people into the branch, random people became members of the branch. And I don't think necessarily all of the top tier casting directors are part of that branch. So it's also very, very international.
Do you think, sorry.
It's also the most female driven branch within the industry, which maybe results in really weird choices. Not weird, but different from these other male dominated branches.
Do you think it figures it all into the calculus? Like, say, with Sinners, Michael B. Jordan probably came with the project, right? DiCaprio probably came with one battle after another. Does it figure in to the voters that, some high profile roles in this are already sort of cast before casting begins?
Yeah, it does, but it also we have to remember they're making Megan's muffins again. It's a bake off. So like
I'm this
so like
category
they
is so
will
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
they put together like
It's
little
it's
like
new.
paragraphs and they kind of talk about their contributions.
Yeah. It's new. It's going to be exciting to see what trends come from it. Like, are they,
Mhm.
I think back a couple years when we had the holdovers and the casting of Dominic Sessa, like roles like that it's like, where'd this guy come from? Or Odessa Azion, I think say your name, from Marty Supreme, Chase Infinity. Like, you've got these new stars, like you found them kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a major element
That
to
makes
that
sense to me. Miles
board.
Caton, if you really watch Sinners more than
Miles Caton,
once,
yeah,
if you watch
right.
Sinners more than once, he's kind of the lead. It just sneaks up on you. You
I
don't
know.
think about it because
Yeah.
Michael B has got two of them up there most of the time. So.
Yeah.
What also
With
makes this
Hamnet, you have
category interesting
Jacoby.
is you compare it to the BAFTA one, and it's already
Yeah.
completely different because the BAFTA holdovers won 2 years ago, which, as Mark, as you just said, is
Did it win it?
probably
Did it win it BAFTA?
because I
Oh
think,
wow.
yeah, because of that discovery. But the thing that
Yeah.
BAFTA is
Okay.
like in casting that I find very interesting, at least in terms of nominations, that did not translate here, is they really respect how hard it is to find people to do musicals. But like a lot of the musicals didn't show up in this category besides Wicked. Like we didn't see Anne Lee, the musical biopics, like because they also have biopics over there, like that movie I don't care for. Someone help me. The Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Oh,
Um
Oh, the
and there's
Springsteen.
like, oh yeah, and then Kiss of the Spider Woman. None of those got in here, which was interesting to me.
yeah.
Well, Wicked didn't make the BAFTA though either. So the long list this year.
All right. Anything else on casting? Moving us
I'll
forward
just
to.
add.
Oh, yep. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I'll just add one real quick thing. We do have a few shortlisted international players here with Sentimental, Secret Agent, and Surratt. It'll be interesting to see if if the international voters get behind one or more of those to sneak in there. Like, sentimental value makes a lot of sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for it.
All right, adapted screenplay. One Battle After Another, Hamnet, and Begonia are all in on across our board, and then followed by Train Dreams and Frankenstein, with No Other Choice and Wake Up Dead Man out there with onesie twosies. So, looking like One Battle, Hamnet, Begonia, Train Dreams, Frankenstein.
This feels like one of the easiest categories to predict this year. I hate when I feel that way, but this one feels like, what else are you going to put there? Wake Up Dead Man, like you said, Wake Up Dead Man, or
Pillion. I'm hoping
Nuremberg.
for a Pillion shocker.
Well, the thing about Wake
I
Up
mean,
Dead Man
that would be quite a shocker.
Be
is the
amazing.
first two first two
Yeah.
movies in the series weren't particularly good, and they got nominated. So I guess that was probably my logic behind picking this one, because this one's actually better than the previous two films. But I'm probably wrong about that too. Once again, this is probably a category where I shit the bed.
I mean, if they got nominated, it's a very good chance that this one gets into. That's probably your spoiler here, but it's hard to bet against those other five, especially when you think all five. Well, maybe not, but I have all five in Best Picture, so that's another like. And I don't have Wake Up Dead Man.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Moving to original, and I just have to resort this page, but it looks like across the board, Sinner, Sentimental Value, and Marty Supreme, with It Was Just an Accident. Sorry, Secret Agent and It Was Just an Accident, rounding out our predicted top five. And then a couple of you have Sorry Baby, thanks to the Julia Roberts mention at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
and it being a really good movie. And Weapons.
I think Sorry
Had
Babies would
weapons and
spoil
I
it.
changed it because I feel like Secret Agent will trump weapons, I
We
think.
don't use that word anymore.
Sorry.
David, what were you saying?
I think Sorry Babies the one that might really sneak in here because I think there has been some fade and it was just an accident, and that is a really really good movie. So and yeah, the recent Julia Roberts thing doesn't hurt.
I've just talked about how adapted screenplay is one of the easiest categories in my opinion. This is one of the hardest, and this is one that I'm not finished writing about yet. But yeah, the Julia Roberts mentioned for Sorry Baby, which was already right there in like the 5, 6, 7 range. I have a feeling that was just perfect timing for that movie for people to go and watch if they haven't seen it, what movie is she talking about? And sometimes it's paying attention to the timing of things as the season unfolds, and it's going to be hard to not have that film in there.
He's also just like Ava Victor. If they want to talk, if they want to award her somewhere as being, the writer of this movie, she's won. She's really right up there with Miles Keaton and Chase Infinity in terms of like regional breakthrough stuff. Like people are recognizing her. I think a lot of people said that the Globes nomination for Best Actress was, one of the best surprises. And I just think there's a lot of passion behind that movie. In general, like awards aside, I think people just really love it. So I think it may have been like the Julia Roberts thing could have been like, hey, yeah, let's put that in there because that would be a great thing. So I'm sort of like, I need that to happen.
You guys convinced me.
I'm still sticking with Weapons. I think that one also has a great deal of buzz with it, and I feel like Amy Madigan can't be the only thing that this movie gets. So that's why I'm sticking with Weapons for right now.
I would say too, if you picked it in casting, it might be a good idea to pick here. Or if you have Amy Madigan winning, I would probably pick it here. That what I'm kind of more toying around with is dropping. It was just an accident, and putting.
That's what I did. That's what
sorry,
I already dropped it.
Yeah, and keeping weapons. Like God, that's tough though because Panahi's got to show up somewhere, right? After being one of the biggest stories of the year, and I think his better shot is screenplay right now. But
yeah, but Mark, you might know the answer to this. I go back and forth with this category a lot, and we're at like in terms of our unified predictions, we're at a risk of predicting a lot of international foreign language films. That doesn't really happen in the screenplay race in one, so like where they dominate a category, right? Has that ever happened?
I don't know that, but I know it's been growing, right? So, like director, so if you look at like the international impact, I know a lot. I know we may want to say start with Roma and Parasite, but I'd really start in the era after another round. So another round was nominated for, and I'm going to talk about outside of international feature. Another round was nominated for director, but that was it. And then the next year you had Drive My Car, which had 3 nominations outside of international feature, and then Triangle Sadness with 3. And these, started to include picture and director with both of those. Then Zone of Interest and Anatomy of Fall same year had 4 and 5. And then just last year, Amelia Perez with 12 nominations outside of international feature. So
yeah, I hear that, but I mean, in like one specific category, especially the writing category, I don't think we've ever seen. I just looked at the original thing. We've never seen more than one at a time.
Yeah, I'd have to look that
Actually,
up, but I take your word for it.
If you go back to the 70s, you saw that, and the 60s,
Okay.
but not recently.
Well, but
in this category, Frank,
in the screenplay category,
okay.
yeah. You see Fellini getting in a lot, and Bergman, and take a look. It's really interesting because then we moved away from that, and it looks like we're moving more towards that now.
Well, that and I mean, foreign language film. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Ben.
I was just saying, but just this year in general, though, I mean, trends are broken all the times and they're growing. And this has been one of the biggest year for foreign language films. I mean, all
Yes.
year we were like, okay, at least two are getting in, maybe three, and so going along with screenplay just kind of makes sense.
That's kind of where I'm getting at with the like growth of 1, 2, 4, 5, 12. Like as the international body grows, so do these nominations around these films, and to a point where we may have three Best Picture nominees. So why not two screenplay nominees? So it's very interesting, but we're due for further expansion, is what I think is happening. So it's a hard category for sure.
All right. Moving us forward, Mark, you mentioned if you have Amy Madigan winning in supporting actress, maybe you should include her in original screenplay. But as I look at the supporting actress category, actually both supporting categories here, these are the two categories with the most consensus within our entire prediction pool. And Ben, you are predicting Amy Madigan to win, but we have Teyana Taylor, Amy Madigan, Inga Ibsadar Lilias, and Wunmi Musako getting in on the strength of that SAG nomination. And Ariana Grande is in fifth place here with 7 mentions across all 8 of us. And Jalal, you have Odessa. Sorry, what, Mark?
I switched to Odessa.
Oh, you did
1 or 2 days ago. Yeah, so I'm with you, Jalal, on that. If I'm picking Wicked out of a lot of other categories that I thought it could get in, and I still have it in a few, but this seems to be one where it would make sense as well. And again, Odessa, if you have Timothy winning, here's more stats for you. If you have Timothy winning, which I currently do, the lead actor winner brings in a nominee with them almost every year, and Odessa seems to have the better shot than Gwyneth at this point with the SAG nom. So
Yeah,
I switched
that
to
was
Odessa.
my thinking too. Was that if Timothy's going to win, which it seems like he is at this point, he's going to bring someone along with him, and she's just exciting. She's fresh. She's new. She's on a TV show. But I think if she does get in, I think it helps. I think it pushes Amy Madigan to the win. Because then all of a sudden she's in this category with a lot of younger women. I mean, I guess the other options were also younger too. And I think it makes her stand out even more as this established veteran actress amongst all these newcomers.
So the stat is 13 of the last 16 lead actor winners had a supporting, or not a supporting, but just another nomination from that film as well. It's weird that in that 16 years, 2017, 2018, 2019 are the 3 years, so 3 consecutive years where Gary Oldman, Rami Malek, and Joaquin Phoenix didn't bring another acting nomination with them, but the other 13 actors did. So that's kind of hard to bet against. And Odessa is she's so good in that, and the breakthrough performance. So that's tough. But I think if you don't, I guess where I ended up with it in the end was it's hard to split a Revo from Odessa. I don't want, or a Revo from Grande. So if I'm either taking both or neither, and I went with neither.
I would actually disagree slightly with that just because it felt like far and away once the movie started screening, everybody was just talking about Ariana Grande. So I don't know. A lot of people, just because it has done, I think I'm having a little bit of resistance with taking it out of so many categories because it has hit a lot of places. If it hit less guilds, I would be more inclined to take it out. And I have taken it out of some things. Like I took it out of sound. I took one of the songs out. I just think that a lot of people still like that movie. It has some fans of it still, and I think everything that's good about it is related to Ariana Grande, and I would say probably 15% of it is I won't let it go. But you guys are making me nervous.
You very well might be right though, Joey. I mean, she hit on everything she needed to hit, right? SAG, Globes, Critics' Choice, BAFTA long list. It's a good. I would say though, I guess if I was going to keep Grande, I would probably move off Wound Me before moving off Odessa.
I think Wound Me's in. I think Odessa is good, but I think she's not peaking at the right time. I don't know. I think she's yeah. I feel like Wound Me is kind of rising up again, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like Odessa is good in Marty Supreme, but you don't leave thinking about that performance. Really, you think she's a star, but you're not thinking, "Wow, that was that character." Like her character, I don't know, is kind of not memorable to me.
I liked her better. I love LA, honestly.
I love LA. I love
she's
LA.
great in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I think so far, and maybe people can disagree with me, the campaign for Marty Supreme, like the character himself, has been Marty, 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 and everybody else is just like, I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
I would personally prefer a Gwyneth Paltrow nomination, but that's just me.
Oh, I agree with you there.
Just didn't latch on. That's all.
All right. Moving on to supporting actor as we round out these categories. We have total consensus here. We are all settling on Stellan Skarsgård, Paul Mescal, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, and Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, based on the latest predictions I have, unless someone has changed their mind. All right. No conversation there. Let's go.
Can I just say,
it's a quick one.
Can I just say, if I was going to throw out a sleeper here that really has a chance to break into that top 5, even though I didn't vote for them, I think it could be Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
He's got a long history of being passed over, very well respected. He's won a number of critical awards. I think he's got a shot. It's the thing that would make me the happiest if it happened.
As long as it doesn't come at the expense of Paul Mescal.
I would agree with that.
No, and if we were removing someone, I would insert Josh O'Connor from Wake Up Dead Man, because I think he's fantastic in that.
But to be fair, if we introduce this point, we got to say who we take out, right? So
Jacob
if
Elordi.
it was me, I would take out Elordi or Sean Penn.
Del Toro.
I love Sean Penn, but I think that performance is cartoonish. So
Del Toro.
Yep, Del Toro.
It's a bit slight, isn't it? It's a bit slight. I also don't love that movie, so
All right.
I love the movie, but I still don't understand how he's gotten so many wins with the critics. But
I really don't either. That is my biggest surprise of this year so far.
I think his win with the critics is mostly because the critics want to award the film, but they are precious people and they don't want to vote for Sean Penn.
That sounds logical, yeah.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Actress. We all agree on Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Renate Reinsve, and Emma Stone. And then we have splits between the 5th nomination. Chase Infinity, Amanda Seyfried, and Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson has been campaigning her ass off.
She has.
Yeah.
You're probably right that she's the one that gets in. But I don't know, but I also think that there's like this little swell for Ann Lee, and like it's not going to get in obviously anywhere else because it was shortlisted, but I could see people, pushing their votes toward Amanda Seyfried, who I think everybody seems to love.
All those Housemaid fans.
I think Chase Infinity's pretty locked, actually. Everyone seems to have been just rallying to her as one of the big discoveries this year, and with One Battle being probably the front runner for everything, I can't see how she doesn't get it.
The question there, Ben, I struggle with Chase Infinity being such a front runner here because I don't think she's a lead performance. I think she's fine.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think
she's great.
But I struggle with people sitting down with their ballot for lead actress and putting her at number 1.
Yeah.
When there are people like Amanda Seyfried, there are people with Kate Hudson.
I'm just saying, I agree. I don't get it. I'm very shocked by the response she's gotten. In fact, originally I thought she and Tiana Taylor, when I first saw the movie and I didn't know them, I thought, they're talking about Tiana Taylor. She had this, you're talking about, okay, she doesn't have as much of a. I just think the movie, when a movie gets this big, they just carry someone along with them. And my biggest thing is, Cynthia Erivo has been falling. Not many people seem to be jumping on the Testament of Anne Lee. I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it. And I've heard so many mixed things about Song Sun Blue. Yeah. I can't imagine Kate Hudson really makes it. So that's really just why I'm with Chase Infinity. It's not out of, she wouldn't be my personal choice, but,
Well, I want to lock
I think
arms.
We're not.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to lock arms with Megan here, because I think if Jessie Buckley hadn't been in Hamnet this year, if Hamnet been released next year or the year before, I think Amanda Seyfried's performance is the best of the year across the board.
Yeah, I do love her so much in that.
And I was never a huge fan, but I was staggered by that performance.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that Renate might miss.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm wondering
just
about that too.
because I think she's phenomenal in that movie, but I thought this for a while. I probably have said this on the podcast before, but I think that I just am worried because it is such a beautifully subtle performance. It would be a crime to me if her father gets in and her sister gets in and she doesn't get in. I just don't.
The Barbie effect.
What's that?
The Barbie effect.
Well, I just don't. I don't see as many people. I don't know. I feel like I don't hear as many people talking about her performance as much as I hear about the other two or three. And maybe people think it's like a bygone, like, oh, she'll get in. But maybe something else, right? Maybe Chase and Kate Hudson get in and Renate doesn't.
What you're saying,
what
you're saying, Joey, is that I think Renate is great in the movie, but I also think it's the third best performance in the movie. And that is no shade on her, because it's just because she's fantastic, and everybody else, the other two, I should say, I found a little more fantastic. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe the assumption is too strong, and she won't get the votes.
I feel like they've overlooked her twice already. I can't imagine she's not getting in this time.
Yeah, I think sentimental value is just too big of a push right now, and maybe it hasn't got the huge passion for her, but I think everyone's seen the movie. They know her in this movie. I think she's getting in.
She did just win the European award.
Yeah, she did.
Yep.
So yeah.
She did.
Going on forgotten, yeah.
All right, moving on to actor. We have 4 names in consensus here. Chalamet, DiCaprio, Jordan, and Mora, with everyone else picking Ethan Hawke except for Frank, who is going with Joel Edgerton from Train Dreams.
That's right. Now, he wouldn't be my choice, but I think that somebody misses here and Joel gets in. And the only person I can imagine missing is Ethan Hawke, even though some people think he had a really good shot at winning. Anybody want to?
I did at one point.
Nope.
I could see that happening, and I would like to see Joel Edgerton get in. I have I have Wagner Mora as the one to win. That's who I think's winning now.
I think this is where I start looking at, how much stuff gets put out every year, and I think 5 is no longer enough, because there's 7 to 8 really strong performances here, and you can say that in the other categories too. But I don't know if you go to 10, but you can. No. I think we should go to 7.
No,
we keep it at 5, and we bring Best Picture back. Bring Best Picture back to 5.
I'll disagree with you.
You sad old people.
No,
true.
You sad old man, Mark.
There are too many things. There are too. I will drive to Cleveland and fight you, Mark. There are too many movies.
Bring it.
There are way more than 5.
I think
I will help you fight him.
We did 5. We did 5 for like 80 something years, and there was prestige around being a Best Picture nominee. Now it's too watered down, I think. And there's great movies, but there's great movies that are going to miss 10. And you have to make that tough choice. And I think I have a lot more to say on that. I'll just leave it at that's what I would like.
I would say take a look at
people
the films of the 30s, the late 30s, and the early 40s, and they were at 10, and they are still prestige pictures today. So I don't agree.
Okay.
The Blind Side got nominated for Best Picture.
Also,
that has always been my argument.
Joey, have you been to Cleveland?
No, actually, no.
I'm sorry, Mark. I had to. I'm from Pikeville, Kentucky. I can't say shit.
I do want to say, Frank, I have been thinking about Joel Edgerton and switching it because while Ethan Hawke's done really well, Train Dreams as a film has moved up, and the idea of the film getting in and him not does seem odd, although the Academy has done that before. So I have been thinking about that.
I think it's almost a certainty that Hawke or Edgerton is 6th, and we just don't know which one yet.
Well, there's someone we're not talking about that Clarence had in for a bit, and I'm kind of surprised you took him out of Clarence, which is we can't count
Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we all think Emma Stone is so set.
And it's getting in for Best Picture.
Yep. And screenplay, yeah.
I mean, there are just as many people who I feel like the argument keeps coming up when people who really like that movie, and then you can have whole conversations of which one is better. You know, you can have a conversation about how they're both just really they bounce really well off of each other. But every time you hear someone say you love Emma Stone, somebody else says they love Jesse Plemons, and actors love him. Mm-hmm. So I could see that happening too. But I also I would feel much more comfortable. I have Hawke in now. I would feel way more comfortable if he was like dragging along somebody else, like an Andrew Scott in supporting, like after he won something, not Venice, Berlin. I can't remember what. I wish that would materialize into a nomination, but I would feel much more comfortable with him being considered like a solid contender, especially from like months ago, that he could win if he was bringing something else. It's not screenplay. It's not picture. I don't know. So I don't necessarily buy that him being overdue and being the only nomination makes any sense. So
I'm actually Jalal, thank you for reminding me of my theory on Jesse Plemons, because I'm going to do something stupid. It's incredibly stupid. I'm taking out Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, I'm going back to Killers of the Flower Moon, and I'm going to say he gets snubbed.
You know, I'd like that, because I think after playing four consecutive agency-free losers, I'm ready for something else from him, you know, but yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, God, no.
All right. Last two categories. Director. We're all over the place here on director. We have two names for consensus, obviously, Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler. And then again, based on the most recent predictions, we have Chloe Zhao with 7 mentions, Josh Safdie with 6, and then we go all the way from Guillermo del Toro, Joachim Trier, the guy from Secret Agent, Kleber Mendon. How do you say that, Frank?
Kleber Mendoza Filho.
Thank you.
I forgot his last name.
Thank you. And Jafar Panahi.
I took Chloe out.
Fuck you. Sorry.
I think Chloe's going to be... No, it's not because I want this. You think I want to take her out? But I'm going by the Barbie rule of like, I think that...
Hamnet is not Barbie. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Hamnet is not Barbie.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
Barbie's an incredible film, though. Barbie's incredible. I think that a lot of people don't like Hamnet. A lot of people love Hamnet. And I just wonder if... I mean, I think Josh Safdie is in before Chloe. And
Chloe I think has a superpower, Megan, which is every director on the fucking planet has been put out there with, like, poked out by a stick by Steven Spielberg to say vote for this movie.
I guess I don't know. I just feel like, first of all, I know Barbie is not Hamnet, but Barbie is a really fucking incredible movie. I think it's better than Oppenheimer. I think it's more interesting.
Oh, God.
Oh dear! Yeah. Now I have to go fight Megan.
Oh boy!
Right. I would say there only is one safe person here. I think any of the other 4 to 8 could fill the last spots.
You really think
PTA is the
Coogler?
only
You really
lock.
think Coogler's not a lock?
I think PTA is the only one that I
Yeah.
would say is a lock.
What would be your reasoning for Coogler not getting in?
It's a vampire movie.
It's
Yeah.
the genre film, right? And if you want to say a movie is Barbie this year, that would be the one
That
I
is the
would say is
Barbie one,
Barbie.
yes. But I'm
Yeah,
also going with that I
right.
think people are sexist and they wouldn't include Chloe. So,
But
that
they've
also
already
means-
given
that also
her an
means,
Spielberg-
Oscar, and
But-
she's done incredibly well this whole season. Even with the people who don't like the movie, it hasn't really slowed her down in any major way. I think she's safe.
I just
And I'm
want
one of the
to-
people who don't love the movie. So
I think we're overplaying the people don't like Hamnet. Hamnet is very, very,
Yeah.
very popular. It's doing very, very, very well across the board. Just
And
because a
Jesse
couple
Buckley
people
is winning
online
Best
are
Actress.
scared
Yeah.
of sentimentality doesn't mean people don't like it. I think somehow it's gotten that narrative, and it is it's still very popular, incredibly well made. I understand your logic, Megan, but I
I talked
I
to a
want
lot
go
of
on a limb,
people,
yeah.
like at Critics' Choice, a lot of
Critics'
people.
Choice voters.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in general, like people within the industry that I've talked to, either love it or hate it.
well, but also remember it's the branch voting, and directors like Chloe Zhao.
Sure.
So I
That's
think
true.
I think she's fine. I
Who's
think
tapping
she
for Hamnet? Francine.
Yeah.
Francis.
Another thing to consider, I mentioned earlier with the Julia Roberts and Sorry Baby situation, is the timing of things. And we just saw Hamnet win Best Picture at the Globes, which over Sinners was I predicted Sinners, and Chloe got to get up there and get a moment and did really well.
Yes.
And so that helps having that stage moment and doing a good job with it. So if I had to say there's a second lock, it'd be Chloe, but I'm not confident on that at all. So because I do think Hamnet's the film that if there is a film that's going to upset one battle, I think now it's Hamnet.
I struggle with the idea of how foul a person do you have to be to hate Hamnet? I mean, to actually hate
right.
A
it.
lot of people I
Right.
talked to,
No, they exist. You're right. They do.
they
So silly. So
yeah, I was surprised by some of the sentiment around it. So
I'm just
There
saying
was-
there's shit worth hating. This just isn't it.
I think one other thing I've heard is, and this was a theory, is it's the film for a while that was the film that was going to take down one battle after another, and the PTA
That's it.
fans
yeah,
did not
Yep.
want that to happen, so they targeted
Yeah.
Hamnet, and it is sort of the opposite end of what one battle is, but
Yeah.
so I think that's a lot of it.
Hamnet became the bad guy of the season somehow, and it's the most
I
unlikely
think it's
bad
the
guy
marketing,
'cause it's-
Mark. Didn't it start when, unfortunately, they did something that no one
Yeah.
should ever do, which was call it the best
Sure.
film of all time in their own marketing.
Right.
I mean.
yeah,
Or like tell people
Right.
they're going to go in and you're going to cry and you're going to feel this
Yeah.
way. And then I think Clarence, a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, you pointed out they've drastically changed their marketing and
yeah.
No, Joey did.
reminded people different.
Yep.
Joey, yeah, which was very smart of them to
That's-
do. But I think that's when that started.
I
Yeah,
think
because
other
everybody's
than
smiling now.
yeah, they are. I don't know.
That
I
kid
think
is
the,
dead.
I wonder though. Like, I think the other than like PTA and Ryan Coogler and Chloe Zhao. I mean, the thing that has really rubbed me the wrong way when people talk about Hamnet, it's just that it's people. The more that people label it as Oscar bait, the angrier that I get. It was like, you're trying to tell me that Chloe Zhao, who has been trying to get people to connect with a movie in a really beautiful, authentic way and explain her vision, and people just keep shutting her down and telling her that she's pretentious and saying that it's cheesy. You're saying that this woman is the person who's creating Oscar bait for awards? Like, that is really kind of insulting. And I feel like people will like respond to the kind of directorial artistic vision that she, from the very beginning, keeps seeming to put out there about her movie. So I think I don't know. The last couple of days when I hear people saying like it's Oscar bait or writing full articles about how they think it's manipulative, I'm just like, I don't know what you guys see when you think about that movie. So
Well, and the fact it's manipulative, I mean, is there any movie anyone's ever fucking gone to that wasn't on some level manipulative? I mean,
sure.
Jesus Christ, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What a
As I guess as the one person who didn't love Hamnet as a film, I still loved Paul Mescal in it.
Yeah.
And I don't get the amount of anger towards it. It wouldn't be the movie I'd get to. I felt like some of the emotional stuff didn't ring as much to me just by the way the film was structured. We jumped around in time too much was my thing, but I do not get that level of hatred for it. There is things to admire in the film. And even if it didn't quite work for me, I found that in sentimental value. So there's still, I can see the vision. And I'll say this, I thought Chloe Zhao deserved to win for Nomadland back then. I thought that was a fantastic film. So I do not get this hatred towards her that they've pushed for. I think it's we get, again, kind of just going back, we get into our tribes when it comes to who we want to get nominated and who we want to win. And sometimes it's just the loudest people and it's got the easiest target. Oh, it makes you cry. That's the easiest thing in the world to try to make people feel like, oh, you were supposed to feel this way, type of thing. So it's an easy argument that people make.
Well,
but
if anyone put themselves on, I'm sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's what people make the argument. I'm not saying it's good argument.
Right. Yeah. I just think if anybody during Oscar season in terms of promotion has put themselves on a pedestal, it's Timothée Chalamet, and he seems to be Teflon. I mean, here's a guy who will continually tell you how great he is. Just ask him, and it doesn't seem to hurt him. And the irritating thing is, I was annoyed with him before I saw Marty Supreme, and I went, shit, maybe he is that fucking good because he's pretty fucking good.
Pretty good.
Oh, see, that's it. I don't understand that thing either, but I also don't like Timothée Chalamet. So, and I didn't like his performance either. So, yeah, I don't know what that is, but he's been on the rise, so it makes sense. He's just been in that conversation. It feels that we all think he's going to get it, but I am predicting Leo right now. So,
all right. Last category, Best Picture, and we all agree on 9 films: One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Frankenstein, Secret Agent, Begonia, Train Dreams, It Was Just an Accident, except for David, who has selected F1 at the last minute. David.
And I'm sticking with this, even though I don't like the movie that much. I mean, it's fine. The movie's fine. The last 10 minutes are pretty fabulous even. But I don't I never understood why Idris's character was supposed to be this great driver when you don't see him do anything good in the entire movie. I mean, he doesn't drive well.
Potential. He's a prospect.
Yeah, potential. But I don't see anyway. But I think it's kind of a dumb movie, but I think it does entertain. It's enjoyable to watch to a point. I actually found the last 10 minutes kind of elevating. The other thing is it's a movie. It's the most movie out of all of these movies on the list. And I think there's a lot of love for this movie. And I've been reading a lot about how producers and other people are saying, I really love F1. I'm going to vote for F1. Maybe there's not enough of them, but I think this is one where I don't think I shit the bed. I think I might be right.
It only takes X amount of people to put it number 1 for it to get in. So,
Did it get PGA?
There's
votes.
Yeah, it got PGA. Weapons and F1 are the 2 that got PGA over It Was Just an Accident and Sentimental Value. So that's like your 12 probably best bets.
Well, also with you guys. Oh, sorry, Mark, were you done?
No.
Well, helps you or not helps you guys. Like it needs help, but for the type of person that's going to vote for F1, there's not a lot else out there. This is a year there's heavily international, heavily indie. Avatar's fallen, Wicked has fallen. F1 is the one that excites a lot of people. Yeah, the state eaters, as we used to call them.
Yeah.
those of us in the middle of the country who grew up in the 90s, I mean, this movie like sings to us.
It
So,
delivers the Days of Thunder goods, doesn't
right.
it? I don't like the movie's great either, but it does. It does.
Listen, I love it. I love it so much. I can't even tell you. It's not my number one. Sinners and Hamnet were my two tops, but F1 is like God right there for me. So I think there will be a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised. It's out on Olympic and I think 3 international films, but we keep seeing it grow, like I keep mentioning. So I do think that's the one to replace. It was just an accident if you're going to pull it out.
I will say the film that I go back and forth with, and I've texted Clarence a little bit about this. I'm not officially predicting it, but I am curious about something like Sorry Baby here. And I know that's a huge limb, but in the past couple of years, we've seen a movie sneak in with nothing else in Best Picture besides a screenplay nomination. We saw Women Talking do it. We saw last year there were bigger movies with lots of nominations that didn't get in, but Nickel Boys snuck in with just a screenplay nomination. Um, it's hard to imagine what that movie would be this year, but I think Sorry Baby has similar passion behind it and excitement. And we talked about Julia Roberts. I think she put a spotlight on it at the right time. So I think that's something
definitely in the
to think about.
Definitely in the conversation.
And
I'd add if you
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I talk enough.
Oh, okay. This would be I'm not predicting it, but like I said, that PGA hope, if my theory that Amy Madigan's winning and if Weapons can somehow get that final push, I would be so thrilled also for it to get in, and it would make a great story too for the year. And although we've already got another horror movie getting in with Sinners, so if we got 2, that'd be another quite new change to the Academy, international and now horror. So I don't know if I can quite push it yet, but I'd love to see it.
I mean, that's a movie that people like. I don't know. I feel like that would be an exciting thing for people. It was a big hit. The marketing was really kind of insane. It was all over social media. If we got like, I don't know, anyone, the host of the Oscars running up to the stage like the kids in Weapons. I don't know. I feel like for a number of years as though we've seen like, people talking about like how do we get people to watch the Oscars, and like, people always say nominate movies that people actually went to go see and people love. I don't know. It could be Weapons. I already have a food reserved for it if it happens.
And that was the intent, I believe, of expanding Beyond 5. And nothing would thrill me more than the PGA 10 being the best picture lineup this year, because I do think what the Oscars needs is more infusion of movies people see. If you want people to, regular people to watch it, Weapons and F1 are certainly better for it than it was just an accident. I love Train Dreams. I'm not going to say that, but maybe Secret Agent, like the two that missed PGA.
But do they care about regular people watching the Oscars anymore? Because they're going to YouTube now, so they don't.
They're very insular.
I think it's a facade a little bit, or not a facade, but like we nominate big movies all the time, and we never see the viewership go up or down. We had Barbie and Oppenheimer.
We're going to have Sinners this year too.
Yeah,
we've had Sinners. We've had Avatar multiple times. They don't.
Let's go more.
Blindside was there. People across the country don't give a fuck.
And I'd rather the Academy embrace huge, critically acclaimed, smaller films than go for a big one just to try to get more of an audience, even while I'm arguing for Weapons, but that has the critics with it too. So I'm not totally a hypocrite.
I mean, to the point about horror, though, I mean, there was a time period that I think I'm the only one old enough to almost remember when Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist could get nominated for Best Picture, and I think horror's had a bit of a renaissance.
Rosemary didn't get nominated, did it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, didn't it?
Yeah. Ruth Gordon won, but Rosemary wasn't nominated.
Didn't Polanski get nominated for that?
Nope.
Oh, got him wrong. Okay. Well, nonetheless, the movie, the horror, there was a period of time when horror films were considered, a very brief space of time where they were considered an art. And I think I don't think we've gotten to those great heights of The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby at this point. But I do think that horror in the last few years has been taken more seriously and has been more in the conversation to get nominations, and we've seen some nominations start to sprinkle through. So I don't think it's insane to think that there could be 2 horror films in the top.
Yeah, and I think kind of like I was saying with anime, with the animated branch, I could definitely see if horror keeps going the way it is. Yeah, it could definitely. If it's not this year, it could be definitely next year or 2 years down the road. We get 2 or 3 horror movies in there.
All right, I'm shutting it down. Sorry.
That's long enough.
Yes, that is long enough.
Or enough of you fucks.
So, yes, well, I've got to do the editing. So
we have 5 more hours to go, guys. Hang in there.
All right. So we're going to bypass the flash forward this week because we have given everyone a lot of great content here. But check back with us later on in the week. Starting tomorrow night, we'll have our final predictions up on the website, so you can check us out there and see if anybody made any last minute changes since the recording of this podcast. And then on Thursday, check out thecontending.com for the nominations and reactions, and still formulating how we're going to do that. But yeah, we've got a lot going on this week. So yay, Oscars. All right. So we are Team Contending. Thanking you for joining us, asking you to remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, click like and subscribe, and wishing you all a very pleasant tomorrow and a happy Oscar week.